everyone. So my name is Taylor McMillan. Nice to see you again. So the past couple weeks, I really enjoyed the different readings. I liked my favorite was learning about the boundaries between the clinical side of the therapy and the family life education side and what the differences were. I enjoyed it so much because I didn't understand it myself. So I thought the best thing about that article that explained it the best was the boundaries between the parent and the FL. Oh, no, it wasn't. It was the reconceptualizing the domain and boundaries of FLE. So I thought the thing that worked the very best, that explained it most thoroughly, was figure 1. It said why. What is the difference? Why? How can we tell the difference in what we're doing versus what a therapist is doing? So in that diagram, it says the family life education helps families build knowledge and skills. So on our side, we are helping family look at the bigger picture of the development, which I thought was great to understand, but I always thought that's what the therapist did. However, as I continued to look into the diagram, it said what the family therapy and the family therapist help repair and manage and maintain and the functionality of a relationship, whether it's marriage or the family or children or whatever it is. That's what the therapy versus the FLE program is doing. However, in those programs, both of these two programs, they both have the same common goals. They both want the functionality of a family to become strong. So whether we're not necessarily repairing it, and if that happens on its own, that's great, but that's what the family therapy is supposed to do. So that I thought that was really good, that we get to help families understand the development of it and what they can do even if they don't have problems. And we're not focusing on necessarily one couple. We're focusing on a group of or an audience of a generalized area. So I thought that was great. And that brings me to the next area, which would be the boundaries between the parent and the FLE. And that was that article. And that made me think of the levels of the family involvement, of what in the FLE, what we are doing to help with those levels. So there were 5 levels, and each level I thought was very important to understand because it also helps understand the previous article, the boundaries of the 2 areas, FLE and the clinicals. So in the FLE program, they explained the minimal emphasis that we do on individual families. So we're just doing the development of the basic family. And then if people have questions, we can give them information or just advice that we've learned from other articles that people just have questions on. And then we also can support people and just through their feelings. That's all. Like we can't explain past that. There's also a very, very brief intervention of meaning we can tell people, well, that's just wrong. But that's it. We really cannot go past that again. And then if people still need more help, we need to advise them to go into the family therapy. So I thought that was really interesting that those 5 steps were very helpful in understanding the 2 boundaries. And I really liked a quote. I quoted them in this article, and it said, if education for family life were viewed as a regular academic subject, such as geography, mathematics, the distinction between education and therapy would be easy. So I thought that really clarified also that people don't view the importance of a family, and that's why they think of FLE as a therapy session. They don't think of it as this is an educational workshop or class that they can take. So I thought that was really cool that this is a class that we are able to show people, even if they have questions, that's not necessarily meaning counseling. So I thought that was a really good quote. Another in the ethics, it goes into the ethics. So in the article, the professional ethics in practice, We talked about the different guidelines and the decision-making processes. And in those areas, in the ethics, the area of the life of where the family's at. So if they're in the childhood stage, the adolescent stage, or the adulthood, or the later adulthood, whatever it is, we need to understand the ethics and what falls for those people in that certain area of their life. And I feel like that area, that article was very self-explanatory, especially since we did do the past interaction with our partners last week. We did explain a lot of the code of ethics and that, so I don't really want to go into that too much. And that's also the same as Appendix E. They just have the ethical standard in there and what the code of ethics were as well. So in chapter 3 of the FLE book, we talked about the evaluations. And in the evaluations, we talked about establishing a target and how to do that, finding the goals and the objectives. And then another thing was the questions and how to create a program or an evaluation, and how to use the logical models, and how to use the evaluation data. So there were 5-tiered approach for the program evaluation, and it's just looking at the community needs and how they fit in with their program goals, and then who's getting the services, so the accountability of it, and then what feedback are we getting, so the feedback that everyone's giving us, and then developing the program further, and then testing it. So that's what I got from the interaction this week. I hope that you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, guys. See ya.